Welcome all. So the Green Hands community, I think you all know who are part of the community. They know about this project. For the newcomers, it is a community shopping initiative where we all monthly once we collectively we all consolidate what we need, and through Manikandan, the speaker today, he will connect it with various farmers, and then he would come and arrange it to all the parents to pan India. That's how the project. A short history of this project is it started. I think 4 5 years back with a single Excel file and six customers and with some six unique oils and rice. That's how we started, and the community itself came forward to help in. I have to definitely mention few humble souls, parents who helped us in the initial stage, particularly Sri Nandini and Anant, who played a very pivotal role in the earlier stage. In every form, they helped us, just working like a team. And then, as the project was expanding, Rupam Sinha and Nishanti, they both joined us and they were helping Manikandan. And now, today, when we look at it, and it has a huge set of parents who are continuously supporting this initiative. We have so far through the Green Hands project, we have transformed around 200 to 300 people into a natural farming, into a chemical free or indigenous native variety of food. So we are very happy about the progress, but we need to go a long way in that. And so that is why this topic is all about it. What is food and what you will have to look for, what are the best way to use it. So that's how it is. That's the whole initiative is completely based on Manikandan's passion, who was in technology for a long time as a search engine marketing optimizer, and then he completely moved towards natural farming and connecting with the farmers and nature. So today we'll have a very interesting thing to learn from him, and people do not worry about it. So feel free to ask questions in the comment box. And as we promised, after the lockdown session, we will consolidate all the key points of all the events along with the FAQs, any comments you asked from the speakers directly, and we will be sharing the PDF in our WhatsApp community. So people who have not joined in our WhatsApp group, feel free to click the link. They'll be sharing it in the comments now, and you can join us anytime so that you'll be kept informed. That's a very short introduction of Green Hands, and I'll give it to Manikandan to take over, and I'll join you in the end. Thank you. Manikandan, please take over.
Hi, welcome all to our today's lockdown webinar. So today we are going to see more topics on like traditional farmers and much more something more interesting to you, and we can start this session now. So many of us didn't know about what actually farmers are doing, and how our food is reaching us. Okay, so today's topics will covered. I'll just go through all just in a quick short way. So today topics covered will be the takeaway, what you supposed to learn after this session, and we will be see more on traditional farmers, and what are the native traditional foods we have, and what are the food adulteration in our current foods, and how we can take food as a medicine, so that we can avoid medicines, and so that we can lead a healthy life. And the most interesting part is what is the real case study of in the corona lockdown. So first we move to the first topic, like what is the takeaway. So after the end of the whole session, you supposed to know about what is food, and what is the natural food, and how food reaching from farmers to our home. And the next thing is, what are the farmers problems which they are facing in their real life, and the solution to make them profitable and sustainable. That won't be possible without us, because we are the only people which support our traditional farmers to make them sustainable, and at least to survive, to get some little profit. And more on knowledge on traditional foods, as we are in we all in our everyday day-to-day life, we are how we have little conscious about these traditional foods and make use of it in our daily life. And end of the day, as I said, how to take food as a medicine, whereas medicine as food. What is all about food, and what is how our farmers are struggling and how we can find the solution about it. So now the first topic is, what is a food, or organic food or a natural food? See, actually, uh, food is nothing but actually, we all know that food is the only one thing which gives us energy, right? So most probably most of us doesn't know that what is an organic food. uh, like see, uh, we all know that we are taking the 3 days of food, and what end of the day we forget about what is the real food. So now we are moving to the organic food. What is the difference between organic and inorganic food? So whether organic is, what I can say is, organic is a gimmick word, because you just take about 100 years before, there is no organic food or inorganic food, only a food. Because on our ancestors, our traditional farmers, what they can does is a simple method, using natural fertilizers to produce food, so that they can be like, they won't think about what is this today's weather, what is today's climate. So it's nothing like, they won't worry about what is happening in their daily life, because they only focus on, just they will be to initial thing, and they will be, end of the day they will be get a very natural food. But nowadays, what we all getting is like, we all know it's mostly 99% we are getting is like, using chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So actually, how it started, basically, why now we are talking about organic food? It's all started in the green ants revolution. Actually, it will start in like, our Indian government have introduced this green revolution, which is started in 1965. And there, the only that is the initial stage of hybrid seeds, where the researchers will found, and in order to produce the larger production of the food, which leads to, see, the basically how government advises farmers is, you need to use this chemical fertilizers, you need to use these pesticides in order to get the large amount of production. So in such a way, the end of the this the initial days of green revolution is like, which leads to our soil, and as well as our body will be affected, especially our mother health will be hugely affected by this so-called chemical fertilizers and pesticides. And now we move to the next slide, and which is nothing but traditional farmers. So see, farmer, uh, uh, you know uh, the main hurdles, or which our traditional farmers facing nowadays, is water, the climate, and the instability of production. And there is no incidence, there is no knowledge to farmers, like, if any natural disaster will come, what they do it. So there is lack of knowledge on the insurance part, as well as the most important thing which our traditional farmers facing is lack of knowledge on reaching the end consumers, because there are a lot of middlemans, like brokers are there to grab the product and sell it for higher profit. So we'll go through each and every points, like very quick, in quick way. So first thing is the actually, as I said, as a farmer, a traditional farmer, which is supposed to be affected by water, the climate, the instability of production. Let's say like a commercial farmer will get like 1,500 kgs of rice in an acre. Natural farmer will get only 700 to 800 kg of rice. That is almost 50 to 60% only the production when compared to the commercial farming. So that's why we are keep on promoting our farmers, like to help them to promote it. Okay, so now what is the solution in order to help our farmers? The only solution to help our traditional farmers is we supposed to buy these traditional rice, millets, and whatever which comes under the natural products. So first we move to the most important. What are the native products which we are going through today's session? First is traditional rice, and second one is cold pressed oils, and third one is millets, and fourth one is spices, and fifth one is natural sweeteners, and sixth one is traditional snacks. We are just going through what is these are these foods which we can switch over from the commercial thing to our natural one, so that we can indirectly help our traditional farmers also. The first thing, the most important thing is traditional rice, because we all know that from morning to daily night, we are taking most of the part is like idli, dosa, whatever, it's all come under rice category. So we will be go through what are the some few important rice varieties, and showcase like around 28 traditional rice so far in this last 6 years. So for more details, if you would like to know more about our traditional rice, you can join our WhatsApp group, and you can get more knowledge on native products, especially on traditional rice. I want to introduce some more detail on traditional rice. But as I said, in our daily day life, the most important food is rice. So in that I'll be go through our some of the how traditional rice will be switch over from into the commercial rice part. So now how many of you know that your rice name, let's say like as of now in the commercial food factor, what we have is only one rice called either basmati or ponni rice, right? So in ponni they have put lots of name, but like depends upon the district, they have this hybrid, let's say Salem ponni, they will name it as SLM PN. So something like that they are keep putting on it. But on ancient days, in India itself, we have around more than 1 lakh of rice varieties, depends upon the region and zone. So uh, you know even as I said, more than 20 traditional rice we have been introduced in green ants in the last 6 years. So now we can talk about the difference between the commercial rice as well as the traditional rice. See, the most important part of a rice is it should not be polished. So whatever you are getting in the commercial market is something like a pakka white polished rice, which contains only carbohydrate, which leads to as the doctor said, like diabetics. So what is the solution from in order to switch over from commercial rice to a traditional rice is to get more knowledge on traditional rice and make use of it. So, and most important part of a traditional rice is rice bran. So as I said, all traditional rice will come as in a motto, where we call it as a motto. It should comes with rice bran, which is unpolished. The upper layer, first layer of the traditional rice is rice bran, which that is the only most important part, which contains most of the nutrition in it, and where the commercial farmers, what they does is they will remove the rice bran and giving it to us. And most of us didn't know that the ration rice which the government is giving it, right, in ration, that is the most healthiest rice which in the commercial market, because they don't remove the rice bran, they give as in such a way, you can say like it's a pale yellow or little brownish in it. So And few of our parents will ask like whether which rice is good, whether it is a raw or boiled rice. I can say boiled rice is much more nutritious than the raw rice. And now move to the next part. We are go through some few important traditional rices we have been introduced in green hands. One is first is black rice. So in US, a research institute have found that black rice is the one of the highest nutritional antioxidant food in the world. Rather than they found that previously before this research they found that blueberry, there is a fruit in US, they thought that blueberry is the highest antioxidant in the world. And after research and they have submit the paper, now we can proudly say that our traditional rice black tawny, we can call it black tawny, karpu tawny. So that black rice is the highest rich antioxidant in the world, and we can make use of that this rice in many recipes. I will be in upcoming session, on upcoming slides I will go through how we can prepare some few traditional rice recipes. And move to the next important rice is nothing but maplai chamba. So on ancient days, the you know uh, a bridegroom has been advised to take this maplai chamba rice before the marriage and after the marriage of 48 days. They should take it in order to increase their immunity, body immunity, ojas. And we have so much benefits in it. And we can see in that slide of this you can go through like the red rice is the maplai chamba, and the next is Siraga Samba, and the second row in first image is Black Tawny, and the fourth one is Tangachamba. So you can go through some pictures and you can find how the our traditional rice should be look like, and how it is much different from the commercial rice. And the next rice is Pungar, which is especially for women, for pregnant ladies, for most probably it is good for women. Like they will be they will make use of it. And the next, as I said, the rice is tangachamba. We call it as a golden rice because this rice is good for anti-aging, as well as few of our parents will ask like, money, what can I take, which traditional rice is suitable for lunch? Because as I said, this maple chamba or karupu kauni won't be that much possible or easy to take it as a lunch meals. So I can suggest this tangachamba, or the next rice is kichli samba. Both we can take it as a lunch, so that will be very good. And move to the next rice is kichli samba, one of the oldest variety in the traditional rice history, which is very good on nutrition and which contains low glycemic index. So for more details regarding the our traditional rice varieties which Green Hands have been introduced, you can check the this our website link I have been given in the data. And most probably, as I said, what is, see, people will call like secret of energy is like the natural drink, or people will say like secret of energy is boost or complan. But what I can say is secret of energy is our traditional rice, and how to make use of it is like that is the secret of how we can make use of this traditional rice. So now we move to the next slide, which is like the another most important food which we can not that much aware about is cold pressed oils. So now we all know that we can use the cold pressed oils like um, just recently we are hearing about cold pressed oils, right? So until now we are using this commercial sunflower oil, refined oil, which is more or less what I can say is, do you know the basic ingredient of all this refined oil is nothing but the crude oil. The end part, the end product of a petrol, or whatever the petrol add on value add, or the end product is crude oil. So the crude oils impurities are considered as throwaway, but the so-called big corporates are making it into as a end product to make them more profit. They are change into as a refined oil. The on ancient days, what we does is simple. Each and every street have the check machine, and people will carry the ingredients, like for gingery or sesame oil, they will take the native sesame seeds and jaggery and give to the person who is having cheku. He might be a farmer, so he will produce it and give it the fresh nutritional cold pressed oil. But now what we are doing is, like, simply get a pack of refined oil and cut and use it. But the most hazard of these oils is our bone marrow will be got affected, and there is lot of n number of health hazards where will be using you know like using these commercial refined oils. So in order to overcome, what is the solution of this is cold pressed oils. On ancient days, we have two types of cold pressed oils. That is the preparation method. So one is stone based marachekku, and another one is wooden based marachekku. So in that, Greenhands is using the stone based marachek machine, so that because see, end of the day we are talking about eco friendly, and end of the day we are talking about how to save the world or mother earth. But in current scenario, if you see that most of the people who are say that cold pressed oil using wooden cheku, the ultimately every 6 months to 1 year they have to cut a tree and replace that cheku spinning machine, cut a new tree, and then again they will make it as again new wooden cheku. So what I can suggest you is, you can find, if you any nearby farmers who are having this stone based cheku, that would be more good. And why, as I said, why we are using this stone based checker is, it have a very lesser heat when compared to wooden cheku, and the more nutritional value of that oil will be preserved. And the more I will suggest you, first you check with your local area where you get this cold pressed oils. And as India, we have this North India and South India people, and what I suggest you is, depends upon your regional part, you can take the oil. So in North India, on ancient days they will use the mustard oil, that is cold pressed mustard oil and groundnut oil. In South India, we can use this gingery oil and coconut oil most part. And as I said, depends upon your region, you can make use of these cold pressed oils. And what all I can say is, right now you can switch over from refined oil to the cold pressed oil. Will be the most important gift which is you're going to give to your family. So as I said, try to switch over to cold pressed oils. And the next slide is, we are talking about is millets. So as I said, in just recent years, only in last 5 to 6 years, we are people will the media will talk about millets. But what I can say is, on ancient days, as I said, there are lots of millets, depends upon the region, have been there. And the most important part of millets is, why now many farmers are moving to millets is, they don't need that much water in order to make it produce. And also millets very easy to cook, that is the one most important thing. And now we, in a quick session, we will be go through what are the type of millets we have. So I think while you're looking on the millet, you're buying millet, or next time you just have a look on that, whether it is a big millet or small millet. Because in millets there are two categories. One is big millet and small millet. In Tamil we called perudhaniyam and sirudhaniyam. So in big millets, which is come under, like peel millet, finger millet, and sorghum, we call cholam, right? So all these three millets are come under the big millets. And the banyan, foxtail, little millet, brown top millet, and kodo millet. These millets, in a quick session, like how to make use of it in the upcoming slides. And why these millets? As I said, it will be more nutritious and tasty also. Um so uh, you know and one quick tip which I want to give you is, uh, don't consume millets daily, or at least because it leads to more body heat. So I suggest switch over, like let's say like today you can take traditional rice, and or tomorrow you can take the millet. It's up to you, you know. So you will learn day by day like how to make use of traditional rice and millets. And as I said, millets. If suppose you want to take, if you want to take daily millets that will generate more body heat, I request you to add nati ghee, which is A2 ghee, in your preparation of millet, so that your body will be coolant. So more regarding, if you want to know more about millets, I can have shared the link of our millets. You can go through it. And if you want any, if you need, you know, any information regarding the products, you can post your queries in the comment section, so that I can be able to just try to answer your queries.